George?
Yes, Joe?
When you were a child enjoying An American Tale, did you ever find it strange that a brother and sister were singing Somewhere Out There to each other? This is a love song, right?
They don't sing it to each other. They sing it at the same time. Anyway, I was a child. I didn't see it as a love song.
Do you think this cartoon was an inspiration for incest porn?
Why are you being an asshole?
It's just a question.
First, you try and ruin the Goonies for me, and now you're taking shots at An American Tale. Is there no film from my youth that you won't shit on?
I'm not shitting on it. I was just asking if millions of young, impressionable children saw this movie, heard that song, and were inspired to create incest porn. How's that shitting on it?
No, Joe, I don't think this movie was an inspiration for incest porn. Perhaps you're thinking about the Bible.
Oh yeah, could be. Listen, one more question before we start the show.
Okay, go ahead.
Are Jews mice?
In this movie they are.
Does that make cats Christians?
Well, cats have traditionally killed a lot of mice, so yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Does This Still Work? The podcast that always asks, does this still work? I'm Joe Dixon.
And I'm George Romanka. And today we're discussing An American Tale from 1986 and some historical context. First, podcasty stuff. We're excited to announce that we've joined the Creator Accountability Network. CAN is a nonprofit dedicated to reducing harassment and abuse through ethical education and a system of restorative accountability. We joined because we care about the safety and well-being of our community members. If you feel our behavior or content has harmed someone, please report it to CAN, either via the reporting form on their website, creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org, or via their hotline at 617-249-4255. They'll help us make it right and avoid repeating that mistake in the future. CAN also needs volunteers from our communities to help with their work, so if you have skills you think would be helpful, or time and a desire to help, please visit their website to find out how you can volunteer. Most importantly, get the word out to other creators who you think would be interested in getting credentialed. Help us build safer communities together. You can reach us at dtswpod@gmail.com, on Facebook, Letterboxd, and on our YouTube channel. Joe is on Blue Sky at joedixon.bsky.social. Please tell your friends about us, even the ones who badly misquote Shakespeare and suck at violin, and leave 5-star ratings everywhere. You can pick what we watch and get extra per episode content by funding us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/dtswpod.
Now, George, take us back to 1986.
And this is the way it was.
We're going to cover one actual news item from 1986 and talk about the Statue of Liberty. Joe, give us our headline from the Daily News of New York, New York.
FBI probes immigration graft.
The FBI went undercover and had a cakewalk of a time getting immigration and naturalization officials to talk about, brag about, and offer participation in extorting money from desperate people.
God, glad we don't have that today.
No, I thought about that. Under the current administration, we just skip all of the graft and try and kick people out all the time and bilk money out of the U.S. citizens in more dastardly ways.
I suppose. Yeah, true.
The one conviction in this operation, as of when this article was written, was a budget analyst who had a whole pricing sheet for what to charge someone and what he'd pay others to do in service of that.
So he was committing a crime and writing it down.
Yep. And all of these conversations that were recorded like across the street from the INS office in a park or in cars parked in various places in Manhattan. One unsung minor hero was a $10,000 a year file clerk who was approached for help with illegally selling green cards. he reported that to his supervisor, who did nothing about it, and then ended up under investigation themselves. I didn't dig to find out what happened.
You know, it's interesting. If we had the choice of this graft or the sort of bullshit we have today, which would you pick?
This one. Because the people involved in this one will actually go to prison.
No, I meant in terms of their criminality. I mean, yes, obviously it's better that they go to jail, but I'm talking about what if they weren't caught? Would you be okay with this sort of crime as opposed to the crime we have today, where we're just shooting immigrants or not?
It's still this one, because it might be bilking money out of them, but for the most part, they're getting what they're paying for, even if a lot of them didn't have to do that, though. Like, a lot of them had perfectly good cases. It's just the INS system is so convoluted that navigating it was impossible.
And also, I'm sure if you're paying, you're guaranteeing, or at least you think you're guaranteeing, getting your green card.
And for the most part, the people who paid got it, even if it was underhandedly. Like, part of the things on the pricing sheet was the extra money it takes to make it legitimate after the fact. So yeah, I definitely prefer this kind of graft than the not graft, just brutalization of people that we're doing today. So, I'm not going to bother trying to segue smoothly into the next thing. One thing we see in this film is the Statue of Liberty. As a kid, it threw me because we see it as it's being constructed, and it's not, like, green. The statue is clad in copper, and that green is the patina from copper oxidation.
What's copper oxidation?
That is, you know how iron rusts?
Mm-hmm.
And it flakes off?
Mm-hmm.
Rust is iron oxidation. It's iron that has had oxygen atoms attached to. Copper oxidizes and creates that patina, that green patina, but it doesn't flake off like rust does. So that patina becomes a protective layer.
Okay.
She was proposed by President of the French Anti-Slavery Society, Edouard René de La Bouille.
Le Boyer.
Sure. And designed by French designer Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi.
Bartoli.
Bartholdi.
Bartoli.
It sounds Italian.
Yes, I'm telling.
And she was dedicated on October 28th, 1886.
And this film is set in 1885, so this is a year before.
100 years before the movie came out. She was designed to represent liberty with a focus on progress rather than war. Like, we have we had a personification of the Americas that was kind of a mostly naked woman in a headdress for a while. And then we had the personification of America that is Columbia, which is where we get the name, like, District of Columbia from.
Okay.
And this was kind of another sort of personification of America.
Sure.
But instead of being focused on war like Columbia and the Native American one were, it was focused on the March of Progress.
Okay.
That's what the torch is supposed to represent.
Torch is often representing progress.
Yep. And almost immediately, she also gained visibility as a symbol of hope and welcoming. Poet Emma Lazarus was asked to write a poem to raise funds for construction. She wrote The New Colossus, which includes the lines, "Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp," cries she. "With silent lips, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." That poem is cast in bronze and is mounted inside of the statue pedestal.
And we respect it so much. Especially these days. We really put those words to use. This country. We really like the tired and your poor and your huddled masses. We really, you know what's the best thing is? All these people come here, and then as soon as they become American citizens, want to close the door on all those who follow them. Because that's the American way.
That's a human problem, not an American problem.
Well, I live in America, so it's my problem.
During the first Trump administration, his Secretary of the Interior wanted to, like, rewrite the last lines of that poem to something like, send me those of your people who can stand on their own 2 feet so that they will not end up suckling at the government teat or some shit like that.
I hadn't heard this, but I'm not surprised. I'm shocked they didn't try and do it.
They did. A federal judge shot it down.
Wow, that's one story I missed.
Yep. Novelist Paul Auster wrote, Bartholdi's gigantic effigy was originally intended as a monument to the principles of international republicanism, but the new Colossus reinvented the statue's purpose, turning liberty into a welcoming mother, a symbol of hope to the outcasts and downtrodden of the world.
One time that was a thing. Of course, country really never actually meant it, but there were times where the country did try and follow through on those principles. And then, people got older and decided they could bitter fucks and screw over everyone below them. Anyway.
Alrighty. Joe, let's talk about An American Tail.
Let's do that. All right, my friend. This was directed by Don Bluth.
And I've seen his work in The Secret of Nim, Anastasia, and Titan AE.
And this is written by David Kirschner.
And I've seen his work in Hocus Pocus.
Also written by Judy Friedberg and Tony Geiss. I think this is one of the few times we did the credits where you saw the films that I haven't. I don't know any of these people's work.
Yep. And I did put Titan AE down for our next animation month, whenever we do it again.
When is that exactly?
Probably around this time next year.
Okay. So screw over gay.
Around this time next year. It can be a month to the front or the back of it.
Yeah, it's still May as we record this. What is... Oh, Pride Month, that's it. That gay month.
I mean, you were on the right track.
Anyway, blurbs. IMDb says, while immigrating to the United States, young Russian mouse gets separated from his family and must locate them while trying to survive in a new country.
Okay.
YouTube says, all aboard for America!
Choo-choo!
Join the adventures of an adorable mouse named Fievel in this heartwarming tale of following your heart. Fievel and his family have grand hopes for this new homeland where the streets are lined with cheese. When he is accidentally lost at sea, determined to reunite with his loved ones, the brave little mouse embarks on a huge adventure through the streets of New York, meeting unexpected friends every step of the way, featuring the voice talent of Dom DeLuise, Madeline Kahn, and Christopher Plummer. It's a family-friendly treat from Steven Spielberg and director Don Bluth, The Land Before Time. That's his credit. Characters. Fievel is voiced by Philip Glazer.
And I've heard him also. He was other voices in Problem Child.
Okay. Papa is voiced by Nehemiah Persoff. And for the podcast, we've seen him in The Last Temptation of Christ. And both George and I have seen him in Twins. And, believe it or not, I've seen him Some Like It Hot. I say believe it or not because if you don't know this, that film was from the 50s. It's an old movie. So, do you know how old Nehemiah was when he died?
I do not.
I believe it was 102. He was an old man. Sorry. Mama is voiced by Erica Yawn. And for the podcast, we've seen her in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I've seen her in Star 80. Tanya, that's the sister, is voiced by Amy Green. Gussie Mouseheimer is voiced by Madeline Kahn. For the podcast, we've seen her in Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and Clue. Let me get into the plot now. Fievel is a mouse who lives in Russia with his parents and sister. The family, understandably, are afraid of cats. After one of many cat attacks, the family decides to move to America. The father, for some reason, believes America doesn't have any felines. He'll turn out to be wrong about that, obviously. According to this film, what America doesn't have is blacks or any other non-whites. Yes, I know they're all cartoon cats and mice in this movie, but they are specifically ethnic whites. That's what they stand in for. So my point is, if you were going to have Jewish and Italian and Irish talking mice, what would have been so difficult to add non-white ethnic mice? Not too much to ask, I think. Moving on. The family heads to the States. Fievel falls off the boat they are on, separating him from the rest of the family. Fortunately, Fievel survives, going overboard, and just happens to end up in the Lower East Side, exactly the neighborhood his family is living in. After a series of adventures, they all reunite. The end. Oh, sorry. They sing a number of songs, including Somewhere Out There, which is a very nice song. Why the movie has a brother and sister singing it, I don't know, but it probably isn't responsible for incest porn. George, I left out a lot. What would you like to add?
Joe, you left out the movie.
I have not. That is the movie. That is literally the movie.
Yeah, if you say the thing that happens at the beginning and then eventually the end happens, you could do that for any movie and we would be just blazing past, like, dude.
Well,
you spend most of your plot complaining about the racial makeup of the characters. Like, that has as much space as actual things that happened in the movie.
Yeah, so?
That's not a summary of the movie.
It was for me. That's my summary. I'm sorry, it doesn't meet your approval. Now, do you want to add anything?
So, the film touches on a lot of things that some inaccurately, like, the Pledge of Allegiance didn't exist in 1885.
I get into that.
And it certainly didn't have Under God in it. That was when the Statue of Liberty was being built. They do a good job, I think, of showing conditions on a lot of the ships that made it across with people that were emigrating to the United States. The long lines at the immigration department, the way that they Americanize names as they're going through plays a non-zero role in the plot.
It is a scene, and then it's moved on. It's not really that big.
They bring it back. This sister, hey, maybe they hear them calling for Philly, and she's like, they changed my name to Tilly. Maybe they changed Fievel's name to Philly.
They would have found him anyway because they're literally in the same neighborhood.
Well, one of the movie does a lot of the whole, like, ships passing in the night thing, like where they almost get, which that's sort of a necessity for this kind of a story. That creates a lot of tension. But it touches on, like, sweatshops for children, right? It touches on the kind of graft that was actually in the history segment. Like people who take advantage of the newly arrived. It touches on Tammany Hall. Like, there was a character that they called Honest John. There was actually a man called Honest John that did a lot of the same kind of shady shit, like having dead people vote for him. The thing that Trump thinks happens at all.
Well, Republicans in general insist. Well, if they win, then dead people didn't vote. But if they lose, then dead people voted.
Right. Yeah, but voting fraud only happens when they lose.
Yes.
Actually, the weird thing is voting fraud only seems to happen when they win. They only seem to call out voting fraud when they've already won.
There's that, sure.
Like, they don't have examples of voting fraud from when they don't win because they don't have access to the apparatus to put out through an official channel that, oh, we found voting fraud.
Well, he just says it. I mean,
he just says it, but
when he lost to Biden, remember, he did lose there, and he goes, I didn't lose. They cheated.
Yeah. Anyway.
So there was Honest John. What else do you want to speak of? Who I also don't have mentioned. Okay. I just mostly have the family. You added Madeline Kahn. Kahn's contribution. Kahn!
Yeah, no, that's about it.
That was my Star Trek reference. People don't understand why I just Kahn like that.
I got it.
I know you did this. I was worrying about the listeners. I assume you're not going to cut that out. If you do, then it doesn't matter. Okay, let's get into the discussion, my friend.
Okay.
All right. With ICE and the overall crazy anti-immigrant stuff out there, do you think this film could be made today?
Yes. But Hollywood has no problem putting out a movie that they put out Don't Look Up during Trump's first term. Like, you can literally lampoon the administration. You can certainly put together a movie set in a historical time about things back then. This administration doesn't know enough to care about it.
You just told me they tried to rewrite the Statue of Liberty. I think I can totally see executives not greenlighting this as they did in 1986 for the very reason that, there's anti-immigrant sentiment. We may be having a merger. We don't want to piss off the administration. I think this would have a problem getting made today.
Okay. But the thing is, you could still make the movie today.
Oh, no.
Just don't release it until this administration's out.
When I say make, I just meant in terms of, the executive branch. Spielberg could literally still put out a film, of course. All right. The beginning of the film shows a pogrom attack on Jews. While they are being attacked, the mice are under attack by cats. Pogroms are state-sponsored anti-Semitic attacks. Do you think that point is clear in the film?
No. I think this film goes over the heads of children. Like if there's and I don't know if you touch on this, but it goes over the heads of children, but also it plants curiosity. I didn't know what a Cossack was for years, but I knew that they were something. And once I had an ability to look them up, I did, and then learned what they were. So it wasn't clear that it wasn't explicit that this was state-sponsored anti-Semitic terrorism.
Yeah, and for me, and we'll get into a bit more as we go along here and to continue our discussion, but that was actually one of the problems I have with the film, is that it goes over the heads of children. I get it, it's a kid's film, although at the same time, when I don't know what by the time you came along, how fairy tales went, but some of the fairy tales I was read to as a child were pretty terrifying. In Little Red Riding Hood, the grandmother actually gets eaten by the wolf. They actually read this to me as a child, and the wolf looks like a real wolf in the drawing, like a funny animal. There wasn't in the olden days, they didn't really soften things up for the kid.
No, in Grimm's fairy tales, no, they did not. In Hollywood, on the screen, they did. And one of the Siskel and Ebert's criticism of this was, this is a fucking downer. Holy shit, is this a downer of a movie to be showing kids?
And that's just it. And yet the kids wouldn't find it a downer. That's the issue for me. It's like,
no, because with
the songs and the singing, and it looks like a bunch of fun. And yet they have this anti-Semitic attack in there, and I'm like, I just think the point is lost on people.
I think it's lost on children, but I think it gets their parents thinking about it though.
See, I don't think that's the case. I think the parents brought the kid to a movie about a mouse, and they literally saw a mouse being attacked by the cat. It's Tom and Jerry, I think people saw. I don't think they saw history. I really don't.
It's hard to see this Tom and Jerry when you see humans lighting villages on fire.
Well, no, yeah,
because you see that.
Number one, Tom and Jerry also lit things on fire.
No, but Tom and Jerry were Tom and Jerry. This was cats that came along with a bunch of humans. The humans were terrorizing humans. The cats were terrorizing the mouse.
Right.
This wasn't accidental violence. This wasn't just in situ violence. There was something to this violence that was more than just a cartoon. And whether you knew the specifics of it or not, I don't think you could not see that.
I think you can. And
okay.
We'll get into it more when we move along, because there is a very specifically thing that happened regarding this film that proves to me anyway that people did not get the point. I'm not even sure if the creators got the point. Anyway, but let's get back to the discussion. The film has the mice reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and I believe the American flag displayed has 50 stars. I don't know if you caught that. In Wikipedia, it says the film was set in...
Did you count them? Did you count? Did you pause it and count the stars?
I did not. I just saw it there, and it looks like... It's just like the normal flag, and it would be much less if it was 1885. I knew that much. Anyway. And of course, it also has the Pledge of Allegiance, we know wasn't written at the time. And that's fine, this isn't a documentary. But since it's not a documentary, why would it have been so outrageous to have other races represented? Especially considering there were some here before these guys ever showed up.
How do you represent, for instance, black people in the common house mouse?
You could just have a regular drawing of a mouse and have a black actor voice it. Ta-da. You could also have them talk a little bit about the history. Ta-da. I mean, there were black people in 1885 in New York City.
Hey, here's your next project, dude.
Could have just put that in there. All right. Now, I don't know how much you know about this.
I don't know anything about this.
There was a graphic novel called Mouse about Nazi cats and Jewish mice. The author, Art Spiegelman, accused Spielberg of ripping them off. I just asked if you're familiar with the controversy, and you say you're not.
I wasn't when I saw this question. I was slightly after I read the Wikipedia article on the movie.
Okay.
Because what Spiegelman did was he said, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to sue him. I'm just going to put my thing out first.
Right. I have to say, when I was watching this, it was weird. As I was watching this, I didn't do any research. I just sat down and watched it. So I was thinking back in my mind, oh, I wonder if it's sort of like Mouse. Oh, Nazi cats. I'm like Mouse. Now, I never read Mouse, but I was familiar with it. I completely forgot about this controversy. I didn't see the movie. I didn't read Mouse.
The other problem I have with that is the cats weren't Nazis.
Right.
They were Cossacks. This was 65 years before the Nazis.
Yeah, but still, the subtext is still the cats.
You can pick any time period from year 0 to now. In Europe, some country is fucking with Jews. Like, that has just been a thing in history for all of history. You can't just say, oh, I did cat and mouse, but did Jew and person persecuting Jew first.
Well, evidently you can. That's what Art said.
Yeah, and then he said, you know what? I'm not going to bother suing. I'm just going to release my thing first.
You know, in the Art Spiegelman version, and again, I didn't actually read it. I just know about it. I read articles on it, which I've forgotten over the years. And I know, well, his story was basically, his dad was, I believe, a Holocaust survivor. And he grew up, obviously, in the United States. And so the story is his dad telling him about what happened to him and him turning it into him and a mouse, his dad a mouse, and then making the mouses Jews and the cats Nazis. And it got tons of awards. A lot of people thought it was very impressive.
Not for nothing, Steven Spielberg had a hand in writing this. And he has a similar story on how this story came to... Like, they both put the experience of their forebears into their...
This is also supposed to be based on the Spielberg's family. It's true. Yeah, it's possible. It's just a coincidence. I mean, they had...
Because, again, the one unifying through line of history is people fucking with Jews.
All right, well, here's the thing that troubles me, and you tell me what you think. Since cats naturally kill mice... Is this a metaphor of cats and mice appropriate to use? After all, pogroms aren't natural. Killing Jews isn't some genetic instinct. Yet, isn't that sort of implied by reducing anti-Semitism to this level?
Humans killing humans, whether we like it or not, is humans have been doing that for all of our entire history. To an extent, because we haven't engineered or governmented violence out of our lives. A natural state of humans is violence. The problem is a direct analogy would be cats killing cats. Or mice killing mice. So, I don't think this is a reduction. I think it's an allegory.
But is it an appropriate allegory?
I got the point. In fact, the movie has one cat that really doesn't like to fuck with mice. Like, there's a cat that helps Fievel escape, who claims to be a vegetarian, but occasionally has some fish. Which I'd forgotten. I remembered him saying a vegetarian. He was a vegetarian. I was all set to fucking come down on it because cats are fucking obligate carnivores. But he does say, oh, a little fish now and then. Okay, so he does eat some meat. Cool. But there's a cat that doesn't kill mice for fun. So, even in this world, a cat doesn't have to kill mice. So, just like humans don't have to kill other humans based on ethnic or religious identities.
Okay. Your turn.
All right. Do you think that the story An American Tale is trying to tell an allegory works for the subject matter?
I doubt. And one of the things I discovered, and I knew it at the time, but again, I never saw the film. I didn't really give it much thought. But when I went back and did some research on it, and this is what I'm talking about with people forgetting or missing the point, this was used, Fievel, the cute little mouse, is used in McDonald's commercials. He's used to sell toys. Now, if this is supposed to be a serious story about the subject matter, it shouldn't be a toy. I mean, there's no...
If it's supposed to be a serious movie about the subject matter, it shouldn't be a cartoon. It shouldn't
be a cartoon. Well, exactly.
A children's cartoon.
Should this have been made into a movie with such a serious subject matter as a cartoon? And yes, it can be, but but the way it's presented, the allegory, I think, doesn't work. I think the allegory fails the subject. I think subject matter is very important, and they turn it into a literal cartoon in the sense that, hey, isn't it cute? You're saying people got the point. I don't think they did. If you're buying McDonald's with Fievel being used to sell hamburgers, which is one of the things that happened, people aren't, it's going over people's head. They saw a cartoon. They did not see anything about oppression. They didn't see anything about, they saw Tom and Jerry. I'm sorry. They saw a cat and a mouse, literally. That's what they took it. And that's the only thing they got, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's what most people got out of it. They did not get, oh, the immigrants are treated badly. Isn't that terrible? Oh, this is how isn't it great immigrants come here and this is a great immigrant story and no. I think people saw it like, oh, it's just a cute little mouse.
All right. This is your first time seeing this movie. Did you, avoid seeing it when it came out because you thought it was a kid's movie?
We get this question a lot. You give me this question a lot. Why didn't I see this thing at the time? I think I thought it was just a kid's movie. I saw no reason to go see it. It just didn't sound like something that interested me.
Okay.
And also, and I keep bringing up the whole race thing because obviously I'm obsessed with it. I didn't need to see what was clearly an immigrant story for white people. I'm not in this story. My people aren't in this story. What's in it for me? I mean, we're talking about immigrants coming over. No, apparently there's no black or even Asian or even Hispanic immigrants. There is no, needless to say, they weren't going to bring up slavery.
I feel like part of the problem, it's not impossible though. But I don't think Hollywood had the chops. No, the chops to, even if they wanted to, I don't think they could have without it coming across as caricature.
In terms of presenting a black character?
Yeah, or an Asian character. Like, when you said Asian, that's when it kind of clicked for me.
Mm.
Like, I don't think it could have done that without playing to stereotypes. And I think it's better to avoid that pitfall than to fall into that pitfall.
That may have been the thought behind it. I don't know. But I just know I sat down and saw a movie about all the... And also...
That can also be my lack of imagination. And, I'm not a filmmaker or an animator or a screenwriter, so...
Right. I mean, I look, I don't want to overemphasize this. It is what it is, and this is an 1885 story. I'm just simply saying that since it's talking about the immigrant story, but it doesn't really... I mean, again, it's not a documentary, so since it's not literally taking everything, I don't know why it couldn't have had more of a multi-culti feel to it, that's all.
And, weird to say this, because we never say this, it's not like it couldn't have been a little longer. It was an hour and 20.
Yeah.
It had like a good 10 minutes at least of it could have included some more diversity.
I mean, I think the reason that it's even as long as it is because of the songs. If the songs weren't in it, it'd be even shorter.
So, from what you know about Mouse, is An American Tail more or less powerful?
From what I know about Mouse, Mouse is the more serious of the two. And I think one of Art Spiegelman's criticism, the author of Mouse, was that they turned the story into a cute cartoon. I think he's right. His story was much more serious and much more, even though it was still cats and mouse. I mean, look, I didn't read it, so maybe I'm out of line here, but I get the impression that it frankly hit you over the head a lot more than this one does. Than this movie does. This movie was meant to be a mainstream, safe film that basically took the story, a real life story of people struggling, and they sanitized it.
Okay.
Yes, there is a whole scene, very short scene, where he goes to a sweat factory. He's there for 2 seconds, makes a rope to escape, and for some reason the other mice never considered this. It was so easy for him to escape. It was just over just like that. So it's very serious. Yes, they were definitely, at that time, well, today we still have sweatshops. But that time they definitely had new immigrants come over and they put them right in the children into the sweatshops. 100% true. But it's not really examined in the film. It's sort of there, and then it's gone. So how seriously are we taking these issues? I don't know.
I mean,
not
if
very
anything,
seriously.
Like it's a tour. Like it's a dime tour through 1885 immigration. It's not a
as seen through 1986 philosophy. I think the idea was, yeah, we're going to have this, but we're not really going to get too into it.
Yeah.
We're going to make it as cute and mainstream as possible. And people just wanted to take their kids to a cartoon.
I mean, if they wanted to just do a cute movie about a mouse, they could have done that without having any of that in it. Like, I think it's better to have some of it in there. Well, whatever. We're not at that part of the script yet.
You can bring it up. What? Good.
Do you remember what the reaction was to Fievel being used in Christmas ads to sell stuff to kids?
And people correct me about this, I saw an article, I believe it was B'nai B'rith, wrote to complain to the studio about Fievel being used in Christmas ads. Apparently, because he's supposed to be a Jewish mouse. So he really should be celebrating Hanukkah. Why is he in Christmas ads? But again, I don't think people saw the point. I don't think people missed it. Yes, they're Jewish mice, but, not really. Just basically, they were just there. I don't know. I know a lot of Jews may have thought of them as Jewish.
I know a lot of Jews that celebrate Christmas.
Sure, plenty, absolutely. But the thing is, his character is very specifically supposed to be a Jewish family, and they do not celebrate Christmas, and yet he's in a Christmas ad.
Alrighty. And finally, this movie celebrates the American dream. In 2026, does the American dream seem like bullshit?
Well before the 20.
I was going to say, was it ever not bullshit?
There have been attempts to make it not bullshit, but then there's an inevitable backlash, or blacklash, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
So, yeah, I mean, is the movie bullshit? No, but it's not. For me, I'll get right to my point where I'm coming from, is I don't think the film works precisely because it takes a lot of very serious issues, and I think it sort of glosses over them.
That wasn't the question. The question was about the American.
I know it's about the American dream, but this all comes back to my feeling about the film.
All right, so we're just going to the conclusions then.
Yeah, I just said that. I said I'm going to get into a conclusion. Well, I didn't say conclusion, but I said, yeah, I'm going to pretty much tell you how I feel about the film. And yeah, I look, if you want to sit your kid down and watch this picture, whatever your ethnicity or race, have at it, Haas. No problem. But as a serious topic and as a film, I don't think it got across what it wanted to get across. I think Spielberg did want to tell a story about the immigrant experience, but doing it so that maybe the kids can get it, or he didn't want to do it literally with just using human beings. Whatever, that's fine. The execution, though, I think, for myself, is that they kind of chickened out. They wanted to tell the story, but then they also wanted to make lots of money, and you weren't going to make a lot of money by showing how immigrants were actually treated, so you sort of glossed over it. Make them cats, make them mice, and everybody gets along at the end, and everyone's happy, and everything has a happy ending, and Fievel gets to have a bunch of sequels, and we get to sell a lot of toys. That's what I think is the point of the film, was to sell toys. Now, maybe that wasn't what Spielberg went into it as, but that's what came out. So for me, I don't think the film works. And that's my answer for the American Dream. I don't think it's a real thing, and we've failed considerably over time doing it. So those are both my things.
All right. I'm going to say it works. Not just because it's my favorite film. I think
Goonies was your favorite film.
It's the Goonies got knocked down a peg because it's stupid. It's unforgivably stupid. To still be, like, it could still be up there, but it's stupid. This, I don't feel like it necessarily had a responsibility to be more hardline on the hardship storytelling. Like, I don't think it had that responsibility. I think it was a movie for kids, ultimately. Because, yeah, sure, merchandising, but that's what fucking half the cartoons are out there to do anyway. So, I think, as from a storytelling perspective, I think it was a cohesive story from beginning to end. Everything made sense, other than the fact that they're because you have Fievel and his sister, and then there's a baby in the family, and that baby kind of disappears halfway through.
Yeah, oh my God, I forgot about that. You're right. Even I forgot. Yeah, the baby disappeared. Where is the baby?
It's at a babysitter. That's what I'm going to say.
Why even have a baby there?
Believe it or not, like there was I read the Wikipedia on it. There was like 8 hours worth of movie in this thing, and it got cut and moved around until it had this. I think what it ended up
brings me back to my point. They want to do a stronger movie, and somewhere along the line they chickened out.
I didn't say stronger. I said longer.
Well, the point is they obviously have more stuff in there they could have had, and maybe the stuff that I'm complaining isn't there probably was there, and they said, this is too long, and we want to make some money, and this ain't going to make no money.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody's making films to put out in theaters hoping not to make money.
Not to make money.
So
true.
I'm not going to hammer it on that. I think the animation style, it was old when they did it. Like, the Disney films that were coming out in 86 didn't look like that. They looked like that 20 years beforehand. I think it was a good choice to do it that way.
The drawing, you mean?
Yeah, the animation style. I think it makes it's softer and kind of cuddlier in a way because it's older. But, so I think the animation was good. I think it was a good story all the way through. I think the music was fantastic in it. And, yeah, I think it works because...
Other than Somewhere Out There, name the other songs.
We're a duo. There are no cats in America. I think that's it.
Yeah, other than Somewhere Out There, which is obviously...
We're a duo. It's true. Oh, a pair of lonely ones who were meant to be a two.
No one remembers this. But they did like Somewhere Out There, which is a good song. Totally. Why they had the brother and sister again sing it, I have no idea.
Because it doesn't have to be love doesn't... We have this stupidity in the English language where we use the one word love.
No, the lyrics in it very specifically make it clear these are lovers singing. They're not together. This is not... Anybody can be in love. This is very much a love song for lovers.
Tell me where in these lyrics it hurt you.
What, you want me to recite the lyrics?
No, I'm going to show you them
right now. There is a line about, let's see.
I'm showing you the lyrics right now.
Loving me tonight. What is it? Who is loving me tonight?
Somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight, someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight. You can love...
Oh, come on.
Read it's a sentence. It's not like somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight, someone is thinking of me and loving me tonight. It's one person who is far away thinking of and loving
their lover.
You don't have to be a lover to love someone.
This is a love song, man. I'm sorry.
No. You said it's about the... Show me on the lyrics where it's necessarily...
I just said a lie to you. You said it doesn't count for some reason.
No.
It doesn't matter. Well, for me...
You said, and loving me tonight. And loving me tonight means it's a love song with lovers and fucking, right? That's what you mean. But it's not. It's literally not that.
Oh, 100% it is. You're insane. Linda Ronstadt and...
Look at the lyrics, Joe.
I heard the lyrics!
Look at them!
Stop yelling.
Look at how they're organized.
I'm sorry I'm hurting your...
No, you're just wrong, Joe. You are incorrect.
All right, fine. When is it classified? What is it classified as? It's not classified as a love song. It's classified as what? Just loving? Is that what it's classified as, George? What is it classified as?
What is the song? Sure, it's a love song because it can be, but it doesn't have to be that kind of love.
Love songs mean lovers. Doesn't mean mommy and daddy love me. It doesn't. I'm sorry. That's not what the point of the love song is.
You don't get to determine
I wrote my mom a love song today.
You don't get to determine. Joe, this song was written for this movie for those characters to sing. It was recorded by Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram.
Not James Ingram.
Yes, James Ingram. Linda Ronstadt and
James... Neville brother.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
James Ingram, Linda Ronstadt recorded it for the end credits because that's what you do with the song in the movie that you think is going to possibly make it onto the charts. And this one won a fucking Grammy.
Yep.
Like,
as a love song.
but it was written for those two characters to
I know what it was written for, so what?
So you can't tell me that it's necessarily that kind of love.
Just who? The sentiment is there, whether or not they wrote it for them or not. Subtext matters. Story matters.
The sentiment is what you want to read
when you
to
read
it.
something out, when you put something in.
Somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight, someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight.
Thinking of loving me.
No, thinking of me and loving me.
Loving me tonight.
I can think of my children and love them from where I am. I do that a lot. I love my children, whether I am next to them or not.
You are so insane. This is, I mean, everyone knows it's a love song. No. It's just about universal.
No. I'm not saying, you are saying it has to be romantic love. It can
I'm saying what I see right before my freaking eyes.
No.
You want to turn into something else, that's fine, but that is...
You're saying that that's what you see before your eyes. You're hiding behind, I'm just calling it like I see it. You're saying that what you see before your eyes can only be you are saying that what you see before your eyes can only be interpreted as a song between lovers.
I'm telling you.
No. True or false? You believe this song can only be...
As a love song.
Do you think this song can only be interpreted that way?
It is a love song. You can interpret it any way. I can't stop how other people interpret it. I'm simply saying it is sold, processed, and put out as a love song. Everyone other than George Ramaka see it as a love song.
All right, listeners, tell him he's wrong.
Listeners, tell him he's wrong. Give us some engagement, for God's sake. When's the last time we had a good old fight on this show? Come on.
It's been a minute. It really has been a minute. Like,
it's been a long time, yeah.
We haven't. Anyway, let's keep moving.
Yes, let's keep. I guess we're done with that, right? Well, George, what's up next?
This was the last of our. It was on a fucking cartoon. Who'd have thunk, right?
Yeah. You never know with us.
Yeah.
We're very volatile people.
We can blow at any moment. This is the last in our Animation Month series. Next week, we'll be talking about The Martian from 2015.
Did you see that in the theaters?
No, I did not see that in the theaters. I think this is the line with, I'm going to science the shit out of this.
I think you're correct, but I'm not entirely sure. I only see the film once, and sounds like it could be in there. Wouldn't be surprised.
We'll find out.
I remember liking it at the time, and we'll see if I still enjoy it. So I guess that's it for this episode. I'm Joe Dixon. Thanks for listening.
And I'm George Romaka. Thanks for listening indeed, because if a podcast drops and there's nobody around to hear it, it's just another collection of ones and zeros that doesn't matter.
You've been listening to Does This Still Work? Produced by Joe Dixon and George Ramaka.
This content is CAN credentialed, which means you can report instances of harassment, abuse, or other harm on their hotline at 617-249-4255 or on their website at creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org.
The hosts can be reached via social media, email, or the contact page at dtswpod.com. Be good to yourself and others, because that still works.
The statue is clad in copper, and the green that we know and love today is the patina from Cock. Yep.
Statue of Liberty is getting around. It's a slot.
Yep. Dear Bruce, you may think that I'm kidding, but I'm really serious. Dear Susan, I'm about to shock you. I really don't know whether what I'm doing is right, but it certainly is different. Dear Miss Manners, at a recent office social gathering, I greeted a fellow worker with, "That's a nice suit, is it new?"